Alright, hello YouTube, it is me, Daniel. This is part of Nerdgasmswag. As you know, my compadres, Johnson and Nick, they are also part of Nerdgasmswag. Nick has his Psychic deck, Johnson has his Blackwing deck, and I have a Worm deck. And I'm going to show it, and, well, I hope you like it. Alright, so first off, we have 3 Worms X, pretty much a staple here. 3 of them. You have to have 3 for any functional worm deck, and this is why, because Yagen, they pretty much like work together. Just 3, and if you look in the background, you can see Zex right there, and right there, there's Yagen in the background. Isn't that cute? All right, so 3 Zex, 3 Yagen, 3 Carteros. These are very important. They're searchers. Just grab any level 4 or lower reptile worm monster from your deck and you add it to your hand. This thins out the deck and it works out amazingly. Now here I use 2 Apocalypses. I know other people like to use 1, but just think about it. I run 2 MSTs. It's like having 4 MSTs. You basically keep the opponent's back pretty much cleared out, so you don't have to worry about anything else. Alright, so that's 2 Apocalypse. 2 Tentacles. They're just heavy hitters. In total, they can create, they'll just hit you with 34 damage because, you remove play 1 worm monster and they can attack twice, which is pretty awesome. Next, I have Worm Dimicles. I really don't even know how to say the name, but he is flipped, gains 300 attack and defense. He's already at 1700 and 1400 defense. So with that, 1700 defense and then 2000 attack, which is awesome, and it's 4-star, so it's awesome. Honest. Honest just really comes in handy just in case you're in a tight spot and you have him in your hand, your worm gets attacked, blam, that's it. The opponent's monster's done. Then there's Worm Warlord. He's attributable. I know some people just don't like to use tributable monsters. They just like to get out synchro fast. But this guy's really good. You only use 1 tribute, 2350 attack, and he can attack your twice if he destroys a monster. So that's always useful. Arrowkin, again, 24 attack, tributable, 1 tribute, and he can set your worms back into face down defense, which is awesome, which is what pretty much worms are based on. So that's him. Worm Victory pretty much clears the field, your opponent's field, of all monsters. All non-face-up worm monsters will basically just get wiped out once he's flipped. And his attack equals 500 per worm, and which is just amazing. And if you have a lot of worms, clears out the field, heavy hitter right there. Now then, here I have 2 Worm Kings. 2 Worm Kings is pretty important. He's the overall heavy hitter of the deck. And 1 tribute. If you tribute 1 worm, you can instantly, right there, face up attack. And you can tribute worms on the field in order to pop cards on your opponent's side, which is amazing. And he has 2700 attack, which is awesome. So I'm thinking about running a queen. Not sure yet, though. So that's it for the monsters. Now here come the magics. Monster Born, staple. Monster Reincarnation, this is pretty much just to get something back to my hand, mostly like Honest if he's in the graveyard, because I have a magic card that's coming up that will pretty much help out my worms. Dark Hole, staple. I run 2 MSTs, as I said before, with the 2 other Worm Apocalypses. Pretty much keep the opponent's back cleared. So that. Swords, this will help me set down a lot of worms so that I could just keep flipping them up and use their effects. It's a bit of a staller, but it comes in handy. Solidarity, this is why I want to have the monster reincarnation. As long as they're all the same type of monsters in the graveyard, all my worms will gain 800 attack, which comes in handy because some worms aren't that strong, but with this card, comes in, whole bunch of attack right there. Polymerization, this is pretty much just for Worm Zero. It also works as a great bluff. Just set it down and people will think, oh, it's a crazy trap or something. No, well, you just destroyed polymerization. Whatever. Future Fusion, also for Worm Zero. This will also help you thin out the deck. If you need to get to something fast, just throw a whole bunch of worms in your graveyard, and if so, then you can also just get out Worm Zero and thins out the deck, which is awesome. 2 Worm Calls, this comes in handy. If you are totally defenseless, monsters on the other side of the field, you basically just summon any worm that you want. Face down, special summon. Face down defense, and yeah. Now onto the traps. Bottomless, staple. Compulsory. This will especially helps out with if you want to keep your opponent's like synchros or whatever in their extra deck, because you just want them there to save one of your own monsters or whatever. So that's that. Mirror Force, staple. Starlight Road, people might be iffy about this, but you never know. If your opponent's looking to destroy like 2 or more of your cards or whatever, or if you just need Stardust right there, if you could just flip this and then negate and destroy that effect or whatever, and then Stardust comes out right there. Comes in handy. Dark Bribe. I like to have Dark Bribe because it negates, not just negates traps, just like 7 tools, but it also negates spells. The only thing, they draw a card, so what? I don't really care about that. Solemn Judgment, staple. Alien Brain. This thing comes in handy, and I run 2. If you're one of your reptile monsters, which all worms are reptiles, if they're destroyed by battle, you take control of your opponent's monster that destroyed it, and that monster then becomes a reptile. Which, whatever, it becomes a reptile, so what? But, you get control of one of your opponent's monsters, which is pretty awesome. And then finally, 3 W Nebula Meteorites. These come in handy because, they're just amazing. Like, it's a broken card, pretty much. First, you get to flip all cards in face-down defense to face-up defense. This, in turn, will activate all the worm's effects, because most of them will be in face-down. And then, activate all their effects. Then after that, whose ever turn it is, at the end phase, all worms get flipped face down defense, and you draw 1 card for each, which will help you skin out the deck even more. And then after that, you even get to special summon a level 7 or higher light reptile worm. And, it's just amazing. So that's how I instantly get out Worm King. Just works out fantastic. And now for the extra deck, it's pretty much just Worm Zero and Stardust. Everyone knows Stardust and Worm Zero. Pretty broken card, but you really don't need an extra deck for this deck, because it really all you need is the heavy hitter like Worm King. And that's about it. That is my worm deck. So looking for some subscribers. If you guys are interested in my worm deck, I'd like to see some of your comments. If you like it, please comment. And alright, thank you, YouTube.